All right, Stephen, we're live.
Welcome to the Fat2Fit podcast. I'm your guest host, Stephen Woody of Rock Solid ATA Martial Arts in Anaheim, California. And along with me is Carol Salva of the Firearms Radio Network. This podcast, we're chronicling our journeys from fat to fit. We'll talk about pursuing a healthier lifestyle, not only in diet, but all areas of life.
Wow, you did that great, Stephen.
Woo!
Did that make you nervous?
A little bit, yeah. Trying to live up to Dion's first reading and getting through it.
Oh my God, that's what we were saying before. Who can live up? We all try to live up to Dion, right?
Yeah, he was the one person in the Fitbit challenge. I'm going, okay, I've got to beat Dion. I've got to beat Dion.
I've got to beat Dion in the challenge, and I've got to beat Dion in the intro when I read the intro as a guest.
Definitely.
He doesn't even know, man. He doesn't know that whole Tough Mudder we did. We're laughing, talking about Dion, you, all the people. It's just it's such a cool thing I think we have going on here, right?
Yeah, this community is awesome.
Is it? Do you think so? I'm having a blast. I love it. Trying to make it.
Everything from a step challenge to a slap bet. Come on.
My God. Like, where else do you get this craziness, right?
I know.
And you and I being able to speak for the first time, but how long have we been communicating? I mean.
Oh, yeah. Since the beginning, basically.
Right? Too much fun. Way too much fun. So everybody wants to know. Let me just explain for anybody that's just tuning in. Welcome to the community. Welcome. You can just peek in, hang out, stay with us. Or if you're a longtime listener, Stephen Woody won our April Fitbit Challenge. He did not just win our April Fitbit Challenge. He blew past us, and it was a ridiculous number of steps that you had. I mean, who was it? I can't remember if it was Jessica or somebody that said, after Christmas, we're like in February, end of February, so we couldn't do a March one, and they said, hey, we need a new Fitbit challenge. And it's real cool because Fitbit has a leaderboard. We don't have to do anything but watch it and see who's winning. So we put it out there. Everybody steps up their game for that, right?
Yeah.
Were you in the one in December? Were you in that?
I wasn't. I had kind of followed it a little bit, but hadn't bought a Fitbit yet. So kind of knew what I was getting into. And actually, I'm kind of mad. I've subsequently misplaced my Fitbit, so I'm going, I need to get a new one.
You're without a Fitbit right now? Gosh,
yes.
This is when we can all surpass. No wonder I haven't seen your name on the leaderboard.
Yes.
It's a crazy, because we're doing another one right now, but really it's not with Fat2Fit, it's some friends. But, you see all your friends in there. Anyway, when she put that out there about so everybody starts getting pumped up, right? We're going to have another Fitbit challenge. That's great. Let's do it. And people, I think the average person gets about 5,000 steps a day if you don't really try to do anything. So this arbitrary number of 10,000 steps is what a lot of people try to hit to be more active. So a lot of us are doing that, are hitting our 10,000 steps a day. So, but when we have a Fitbit challenge, everybody is even more than that. Now, we're like, who is this guy? I'm looking for it right here, right now, so I make sure I say the right number. You had 842,470 steps in the month of April. Stephen, get a life, man.
I've got an 18-month-old. I don't have a life. I own my own business. I don't have a life, so I honestly don't know where I found the time to find all those steps.
We're going to find out. I'm sorry, we're going to find out, but I just want to say real quick, because to somebody who doesn't have Fitbit, that might not mean a lot until they realize that Mickey was in second place with like 500,000 steps. You had 300,000 more steps than Mickey, who, Mickey Francis was stepping it up big time. Stacy Knickerbocker, who did some marathons and stuff in there, and she's usually our leader, she was in the high 400,000s. We have GW, 424,000. This is a ton of steps when you get up to 400,000 steps in a month. We had a lot of people up there in the top 5, top 10. But you didn't just get past people. You had like 300,000 more steps than the second place person, which I mean, people were just marveling over that. And you did, I'm sorry to have interrupted you. I just wanted to honor all the Fitbit people that did it with us.
Oh yeah,
Um,
definitely.
it was super fun, right? It was super fun.
Yeah.
But we couldn't wait to talk to you because, like, how are you doing this, Stephen? Tell us about your 18-month old. Tell us about how you got to that number, almost 100,000 steps in a month.
Um, by going out on some nice long walks with my son, putting him in the stroller and just going out for a couple hours in the morning, just get out, decompress from the day before.
Wow.
And then also, I own a martial arts studio, so I'm on my feet for basically when everyone else is at work sitting down, I'm up moving
Right.
around, teaching class, so getting lots of steps in there. And it was just amazing looking down at the end of the day teaching class going, whoa. And then a lot of nights I'd come home and then take my two dogs out for another walk or a jog. And yeah, so.
Crazy. But see, look at your active day. You know, some of your job would, you know, absolutely, an active job is going to make a huge difference. But, you know, there's that's that background activity that you're doing that's just part of your life. You're intentionally going out in the morning. What a great thing for your 18-month-old to get the fresh air and some bonding time and all the sights and sounds of being outside. But you didn't say you take is it a boy or girl?
Boy.
Oh, you didn't say you take your little boy for a 30-minute or a 45-minute walk. You said a couple of hours.
Yes, a couple of hours would get out and just
Okay.
walk.
Amazing. And the best thing, you could easily do a Tough Mudder with us. Come on, man.
It's finding the free time to get out and doing it.
Well, that's the thing with the 18-month-old. But that's fantastic because I remember when I had my kids, I was like, well, I have no time to exercise. Look at you, you know, before work, then, of course, your active job, and then your dogs. Your dogs want to get out and walk too. And
Yeah.
so you're intentionally finding more activity in your day, which kudos, man. That's outrageous. Just so congratulations to you. I think it was Dion that posted that he was pretty sure you were clipping your Fitbit to your students and making them run like
Yes.
laps around the gym and stuff like that.
Yeah, or clipping it to my dogs and having them go out.
Right. But he knew. I thought it was funny that Dion said that because the fact that he knew that you owned the martial arts studio, I'm pretty sure it was Dion that said it. The fact that that person knew that means that they were like, who the heck is this guy? And they went and looked into you, you know? I mean,
Exactly.
too much fun. Way too much fun. You know, we're having a blast over here, and so I really want to appreciate you and thank you for being an active member in the community. You know, definitely on Fitbit with the postings and stuff like that. We're all over on my Fitness Pal. You know, and I can't get to all of the communities as much as I used to be able to right now. So I super appreciate. You know, I do try to check in every other day or so on everything, and just to see how people are connecting and just the momentum of this.
And then you've got other people helping out as well, which, yeah.
Hey, thank you for that segue. I told you to not let me forget. You're awesome. You're the new co-host. we have Jay Fernando, and I was talking to Stephen before this. Please don't let me forget to. I mean, I talk to Jay almost every day or text or something because he does our Instagram account. And I know nothing about Instagram, and I'm going to get on it. But apparently, we have a Fat2Fit HQ Instagram account. I mean, I know we do because Jay asked me for the pictures, and he handles that. And it's people like that are stepping up and helping run this whole thing. It's just fantastic. So I just really appreciate Jay, and I'll put a link in the show notes for how you can follow us and how you can connect with us. I do want to say real quick, today's show notes are at fat2fithq.com/096. And that's the number 2, fat2fithq.com/096. So, Stephen, let me ask you.
Yeah, Carol.
Let me ask you. Tell me about yourself. Just give us kind of a high-level view. You say you own a martial arts gym. How did you get into fitness? I mean, what's your story, man?
Well, martial arts I've been doing since I was 9. It was actually the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that got me into it.
Awesome.
But growing up, my mom had the Cobra Kai dojo of the Karate Kid stuck in her head. She didn't want me coming home all black and blue, and found a studio that was very much kid-friendly, the sparring that we did, we wore lots of protection, and it was light to no contact with the kids. And then I got older, I wanted to play other sports, and my mom was like, "No, you can't play football. That's a contact sport." And I'm going, "You've got me doing taekwondo. You've got me doing a contact sport."
Yeah.
But it's what I always stuck with. Played basketball, played baseball, everything else growing up. But it's what I loved. It kept me on my feet. There was no sitting on a bench, which is what's great about martial arts. It's a individual sport, but you're in a group setting. So you get that group
Nice.
involvement, but you're competing against yourself.
Wow. And you have, I'm sorry, I'm going to put a link to your gym, and I couldn't even cut and paste all of your accolades, all of your, titles that you've won and all the things you're certified in. That's amazing. Give us some of that, just like what you're most proud of. Don't be humble for just a second.
Probably what I'd be most proud of is we just had our district championships. So it would be California, Arizona, Nevada, and Utah would be the Southwest district that I'm part of. We just had district championships, and I got first place in extreme weapons and creative weapons, and then second place in a whole bunch of things, and a couple third places as well, and sparring and stuff like that.
Extreme weapons. I know
Yes.
some of our folks' ears just picked up.
Yes.
Tell us what does that look like in martial arts, extreme
Uh,
weapon?
Extreme weapons, the easiest way to describe it, it'd be the freestyle motocross of the martial arts weapons world. Um, our weapons are flying through the air. We're flying through the air.
What's a
It's
weapon? What are you using?
I'm using actually for extreme weapons double swords. So I've got two metal swords, one in each hand that are going all about. So
Oh my gosh. Are you serious? Is there
yes.
video of this?
My wife shot video, but I haven't posted it anywhere. If you YouTube it, there's a guy, Kalman Soka, who is, if you YouTube him, he's the JJ of the martial arts world. So
Very
where
cool.
JJ is the shooting icon,
Yeah,
he's
JJ Rakaza that we just
yes.
said. So this, okay, you know what, Stephen, you'll just give me the links and I'll include them at this
Okay, definitely, I
at
will do
today's
that.
show. Anything you want people to see so that they get an idea. But get your wife to put your video up there. We want to see that too. That would be
Okay,
fantastic.
I'll have to do that.
I know. Whatever we can get together, we'll have in the show notes for people to see
Okay.
what kind of things crazy Steven is doing. No, I'm in awe of you. That's fantastic. That's amazing. I have two boys, and we did martial arts for a little while, and you get this feeling like you're giving them a skill. It's taught so responsibly that the discipline and things about you don't just go out and use what you've learned on anybody. I was most impressed with how their class was run and what they were trying to teach them from a discipline respect, self-discipline, all of that. So I really respect what you're doing. And
Oh, yeah, that's the big cool thing is it's not just a physical skill. You're
mm,
getting all the life skills, all of the leadership skills, all of the discipline, the respect, the self-confidence to go out there and know you don't need to use your physical skills you've learned.
right, that's fantastic. And we're all about that kind of stuff nowadays, being confident and and I'm just psyched that you're in our community because that's one of our huge things, just being inspired by other people, whether we're inspired because they're starting their journey or whether we're inspired because they just won a multi-state district extreme weapons. Crazy thing. So kudos, that's fantastic. So tell us, okay, so this all started for you at an early age. When did you start like listening to podcasts and stuff like that? How did you get into this world?
Listening to podcasts, actually, I got into it actually through and found you actually through the firearms world.
Oh,
Um, yeah, I'm
that's
actually also a little bit of a gun nut. My wife has told me I own too many guns.
too many
Um,
guys. Tell her there's no such thing.
we're in California. California,
Okay.
yeah. If it was Texas, no, there's no too many guns there. Uh, but yeah, so love shooting. Was listening to Firearms Radio Network and was going, okay, I'm physical, but I need to find out a little bit more about eating healthy and stuff like that. And that's actually how I found you, was through
Wow. That's
that.
fan-
So
that's fantastic. So when was that? Probably last year, I think we
last
started.
year, yeah.
Yeah. So, did you ever listen to any of those episodes with Jake and Zach back in the
Um,
archive.
Honestly, no, I haven't gone back that far in the
Yeah.
archives.
Well, now, we're up to almost 100 episodes. That's
Yeah.
pretty tough. That's like 100 hours of your time that you would have to. We do suggest, like anybody who's just now tuning in, and obviously our most recent episodes, we love to have you. But a lot of us have recommend that new people start from the beginning if you want something to listen to during your workouts as opposed to music if you like talk radio, because those two guys were a riot, and this whole show got started, and they did something like, I don't know, 50 episodes or so before I ever came on the scene. And so that was a lot of fun. I'm real grateful for them. But now this whole thing has morphed into, it is still a chronicle of people's journeys, but it's our community and people, experts that we could have come and we could kind of listen to what they have to say.
Exactly.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you like it. So we just put out that Tough Mudder show last week. Tell me about anything like that you do. Do you do anything with the guys from your gym? Do you go out and do any kind of community? I mean, I know y'all do your competitions.
Exactly. Outside the competitions, we don't do a lot. There's been, I've been trying to get together a group to do a Tough Mudder. We've got a local one here that's not associated with the Tough Mudder, but I've been trying to get a group together for that. And if I can't get one, the next time they do it, I'm just going to go out and I'm going to run it myself.
Absolutely. Absolutely. You know what's fun is that if it's a long one, I don't know about a short one like a 5K, but a long one, the people that do it are it's such a great attitude that you latch on to teams, either a team or multiple teams. And we had that happen to one of our gals that got separated from our group, and she ended up doing it with a bunch of other people the whole day. So you could do something like that.
Meet some new friends.
Right. It's all about having fun. It's all about having fun. I'm super fascinated I just ask if maybe not even Tough Mudder, but anything that y'all do outside. Because I know I've had a lot of people write me about this whole community thing. And if you don't have a group like the people at your work or your family or your friends, they don't have the same maybe fitness goals as you do or interest at all in it. I mean, everybody knows what that's like when you start talking about diet or exercise and the people in your real world kind of glaze over and they give you the hand like it's quite enough.
What do you mean you're doing intermittent fasting? What? You're not eating? What?
What does that even mean, right?
You're paleo? What?
It's so funny. Is there was a show where Chris Tinder, he's a listener, Chris, and he's been a guest on the show, but he wrote Jake and Zach and said, I wonder if you could do a show about IF. It's getting really popular, and I'm thinking about trying it. And when the guys, I was a listener at the time, and I burst out laughing because they were like, and this is from someone named Chris Tinder, and he says, if we can do a show about if what? They didn't even know. I mean, they didn't even understand the feedback, but it was hilarious to me that they read it anyway, even though they didn't even understand. And I wrote them right away. I was like, guys, this is intermittent fasting. It's very big. You should know. It was so fun. That's how I ended up being invited to be on the show, because I was just getting so frustrated. I go, watch the video. Watch Netflix. Listen to some of these.
Google it.
Google it. No, they were very busy, though. It's Jake Challen, who's the president of the Firearms Radio Network, and Zach Carlson. Now, Zach has his own Gun Bench show and stuff as well. Those guys they just did this show to try to lose some weight.
Yeah, not thinking that it would be their little community to keep them motivated.
And it worked. They had a challenge. They both lost a lot of weight. Zach was always kind of up and down and motivated or not, but everybody has made some progress. One of the interesting things back then is that when it was just the two of them, they encouraged us to watch like a Netflix video, something. They're like, I'm going to watch this Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, and then we'll come back and talk about it next week. Have you watched any of those documentaries?
Yeah, I've watched some of them when they first came out. I'm trying to think of the one about the guy that only ate McDonald's.
Super Size Me.
Yeah, Super Size Me. That one, I was just like, really? How? Oh, you could only no.
I know it was a bad idea for him, right? But I mean, it's this wildly famous documentary now
Oh yeah.
because we got a peek. He got so sick, and he gained a ton of weight. Now, here's something real interesting because Jake and Zach had us watch Super Size Me, and like all of America, we came back, oh no, McDonald's is killing everybody. Ah. But we found out they're really not.
No, they're not.
Because, right? Did you ever see Fathead?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So right there, that's the opposite of Super Size Me, where a guy came and did a documentary about how Super Size Me, you can't, there was a lot wrong with how that guy did it. Is first of all, you don't go to McDonald's every day and choose something different from the menu. People don't eat like the way he was eating McDonald's. And it was really by the end of Fathead, it was the carbohydrates in the McDonald's that had put, this guy ate McDonald's every day for a month and he lost weight and he got better cholesterol. Not that McDonald's is super healthy, but you can make healthy choices
Oh yeah.
there.
McDonald's has some great salads,
I
and it's
mean,
yeah.
yeah, and he really just started watching his carbs and didn't go over 50 carbs because he learned. Anyway, that was fantastic. We'll
Yeah.
link to both of those. But I just wonder, you've been involved in martial arts since you were young. Tell us about how your diet and nutrition has evolved since you were young. What's the story there?
Okay, so my diet and nutrition.
Huh.
um, okay, so growing up, mom was just retired from being a teacher for 39 years.
Awesome, Mom.
Breakfast was grab it out the door. So that's unfortunately been how it's been my whole life. So all those people out there say, eat a big breakfast, eat a big breakfast. It's like, really? I don't have time to eat a big breakfast. I'm running out the door.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where the intermittent fasting, sometimes it's like, okay, if I intermittent fast, I don't need to eat breakfast. Score.
Right.
Exactly. And now I'm hearing my son going, Dad, Dad, in the background.
That's okay. We'd love to meet him. But he can be crying in the background. One of mine's going to bust in here in a second, too. So.
Yeah, so, and then in high school and college, didn't really think too much about what I was eating. I seemed to be one of those kids that could shove all the food I wanted in my mouth and not put on a pound.
Wow.
Yeah. And then
we hated you, but go ahead.
and then in college, my metabolism started to slow just a little bit as I got a little bit older, and I maintained the same eating habits, grabbing fast food in between classes and stuff like that. And then from there, just ended up putting on some extra pounds, got married, still wasn't eating super healthy. I have to say my wife and I really love our pasta. So, and then now that I've got an 18-month-old, it's trying to fit food in when I can and trying to make better choices about it.
Yeah.
I'd love to go like closer to paleo or like carb night, but just with trying to keep everything going with my business and everything, I eat when I can, not super healthy, so I try to overcome that with maybe a little bit more physical.
A little bit more? Is that what a little bit more?
A little bit more.
Twice the amount of steps that people who are killing it and really trying to, Yeah, that's the thing. See, oh man, and I do feel ya. And I know people out there, I try not to make excuses for a lot of the choices that I end up making, but the reality is that sometimes convenience food is just, it has to be or we're not going to eat, and I'd love to quit my job and go, well, I don't know if I'd love to, but maybe I need to, have a farm or something.
Yeah, and be able to grow your own food and everything. Know exactly where it's coming from.
Exactly. Or a CSA. We're moving in that direction. We're trying to get a little better about it. I'm not going to say there's not cereal and stuff in my cabinet because there is. We're trying to not do that as much as we used to. Right? Yeah. Because once the kids come along, it's even more important that for me probably to have good habits, but then you have wait till they get a little older and you start seeing that you're kind of turning them off to healthy choices if you harp on it too much. And it's a bizarre balancing act between how your lifestyle of trying to get out the door and all of that, trying to get something healthy, bribing them at times, having some cereal so that they're not the weird kid that doesn't eat cereal when the friends come over, doesn't even have it in the house. There's all, there's all kinds of things. We're better than we used to be, as I'm sure you feel like, hey, I make better choices than I used
Oh
to,
yeah. Now
right?
instead of grabbing a burger, it's okay. Let's see here. Go get Chick-fil-A unbreaded
Right.
um, meat
Uh,
instead. So
Right. It's everything is a choice, and as long as we're making better choices when we can, I feel like it's about progress, man. It's not about perfection, because if it's about perfection, I'm gonna pick up my marbles and go home.
oh yeah, definitely. Same here. If I've got to be perfect, I'm like, why even bother? And that's one of the things I
Yeah.
tell my students. It's you're competing against yourself, and
Right.
if today it's not possible, tomorrow it could be. So
Awesome.
just keep working on it.
That's fantastic. Okay, let me write that down. You
Yeah. So
tell
today
them.
not possible, tomorrow possible is the quote that our organization's founder. That was what he actually. That was his big thing was keep working at it. If today you can't do something with practice, tomorrow or in the future you'll be able to do it.
Awesome, awesome, awesome sauce. I like that. So we'll put that quote in there. I put that on Facebook too. It is. It's a motivation thing because I bet you and I know me and I know I keep bringing up Tough Mudder because I'm still on a high from it. Sorry, but
Yeah, definitely. You're wearing the shirt. I
I
think,
can't. I know. I know. Well, this is an old team, but you're right. This is
yes.
Moss Mud. This is an old team shirt. No, man, those gun runner shirts did not survive the run. I have
Oh,
I have one because I got an extra one, but most of them are left somewhere out in Tennessee in the backwoods country. I mean, they were just
shoes still stuck in the mud?
oh my gosh, yeah, everything was stuck in the mud. They had horrible rains before, so it was the muddiest run I've ever done. And
Oh,
I mean, even before we started, our spectators couldn't get out of the mud to come, and it was crazy. It was crazy. But yeah, I can't remember what I was saying. What was I saying about that? About the run? Oh, the
yes.
today not possible, tomorrow possible. It, I know this run is fun. It's fun to be in the mud. All these things are just fun. But the big payoff is when you realize that you could do something you didn't think you could do.
Exactly. You see that wall and you're like, I can't get over that. And next thing you know, you're over it and you're like, how'd I do that?
I know. Even if it was Zeke that pushed you over the wall, like
Exactly.
Zeke from Talking Lead pushed
Well,
everybody over walls, and so
Zeke
did
could just
Left
see
Hand.
over the wall. So,
I know. He would always say, "Y'all want me to just hurdle this one? I could just run up and hurdle it."
yeah.
tall, tall walls. But even if it was your team that got you over, you're this is 10.5 miles. Once you get to the end of that, you realize that the day was something you weren't sure you were going to be able to complete. And it's bizarre, since I did my first one, my other areas of life, my work, I'm taking on more than I ever thought would be wise to take on, because I feel like I can handle things. Now, it's not perfect.
Yeah.
Every day is choices, and some stuff isn't 100%, but it's good. And so there's that balance of what's good enough and where my confidence is. It's a game changer. It's a total game changer. So I love y'all's tagline: if today not possible, tomorrow it might be possible. That's an attitude we should all have,
Oh, yeah. And because every day you're going to have little wins, little losses.
right?
It's what the final column is that you want to make sure you focus on that by the end of the day, you've made an improvement in your life and in other people's lives too. Because if you're always focused on yourself and not worried about what other people are doing, it's like I can't tell you how many times I'd be out on those long walks and say hi to someone and they just completely just like snubbed me and just ignored me and didn't say anything back. It's like, really? Yeah.
I
Or how
know.
many times I'd be pushing my stroller with my son in it because one of the stops I'd make would be along to Starbucks to get an iced tea refill
Awesome.
because that's my big vice.
That's all
And I'd
right.
be
We
walking
all
up to the
have.
door and there'd be someone walking out and they wouldn't hold the door for me. And I was like, I'm
Yeah.
pushing a stroller with a
Right?
baby. And yeah, it's just how many people are just oblivious in life and
Mm-hmm.
don't pay attention to other people.
Right? And that I feel like that could have easily been me 5 or 6 years ago. So I don't know, with nose down, how am I going to do this? I focused on the negative, the glass half empty so much of how this is poor me. All this stuff is piled on me. And I could look around at my life right now and all those dishes right now in the sink and everything and go, man, this is a beat down. But, and some days I feel like that. But man, you are so right. It is about attitude. And hey, at least I can afford dishes. At least we had some food with that meal, you know.
Yeah, when it comes to your fitness and diet, it's like, oh, I only got 1,000 steps in a day. Well, at least you got the 1,000.
Right.
At least it wasn't 0. Oh, I didn't eat the best food. Oh well, at least you ate something. You were working on trying to eat healthy.
That's golden. At least you care, right? At least you care to analyze what happened today. And you know, because when it comes down to it, I love all the new science, right? You know, we're listening to Kiefer and we're listening to Roger Dickerman. We love these guys. Jonathan Baylor and Abel James are coming out with this fat burning master class, and you can get a lot of the information free. But then there's these videos that I'm sure are amazing. But without the right attitude, and without the persistence, and without the joy and the fun of little accomplishments and all of that, the motivation, right?
Exactly.
Who cares how good the science is if you don't have the patience to try something?
Yeah, because everyone's going to fall off the wagon at some point.
Right.
And especially at the beginning, it's like you stumble that little bit, and if you just go, oh, well, I stumbled, oh, well, I'm going to give up, you're never going to get there. It's like I meet people that all the time, they're like, oh, I did Taekwondo when I was younger. Well, what rank did you get to? Orange, or yellow, the first couple ranks. I've even had some people say white. I went, you're given a white belt when you start.
I was going to say, I guess I'm white. I'm white. If I just go pay for a class, I'm white.
Exactly. And then you've got people that will say they get up to recommended black belt. They're getting ready to test for their black belt, what their goal was, and then they quit. Wow. It's like you're so close to your goal, and then you quit. What happened? Where was the drive? What changed in your life that you decided that your goal was so close, but I don't want that goal anymore?
Right. Yeah. And that's, that's okay if you really, but if you're saying it to you with a little bit of, I
wish I had.
Yeah. Well, what
are
you gonna do? That was a big defining moment for me. I've told my story before. As a mom, my youngest was already 3 years old, twice as old as yours, and I couldn't say that it was baby weight anymore. I still wearing maternity clothes. I mean, it was just not good. But I had joined a gym that I'd been going to for a while. I had then they dragged me into this boot camp, which was like, oh my gosh, okay, if this doesn't do it, nothing's going to do it. Well, that didn't do it because all I did was work out really hard and I didn't change the way I ate. But there was a point when my boot camp instructor, his name's Richard Jones, and Richard had us sign up for this competition in Las Vegas. And it was an amateur competition. It was 6 months out. And he's like, if you really want to be serious, this will get you serious. Because I'm like, me? Muffin top me? What? He was like, no, you can. You got 6 months. And just do what I tell you. And I'm not saying that I did get there. I did do it. I was on stage. I can't believe how thin I got. It wasn't the healthiest way. Back then, I was like starving myself and running. Obviously, that didn't work out in the long run, and all that weight bounced back worse after. But what I learned there, that was the changing time for me, that I can do hard things. I guess because you're saying this, people who didn't get their black belt, well, why don't you go back now? Because I took a gymnastics class at 42 years old, and I didn't even take a gymnastics class. I don't know if there is one for adults that have never done gymnastics before. But I had to for this thing. I had to put a routine together, and I hired the guy that does my kids' gymnastics to work with me in the gym. I actually traded him, bartered some stuff, and he was like, "This is amazing. I don't think I've ever." It's never too late, right?
No. And in fact, you want to see my son and my wife just walked up with him.
Oh, yeah. Oh, look at you, precious. Okay, you guys have to go to the show notes and look at the video about an
Let's see.
hour in. What?
Can you
Hi,
wave hi?
buddy.
Yeah, because we're
Hi.
here. Can you
Do
wave
you,
hi?
do you see me? Hi. Hi, cuteness. You are precious. I
Yeah, he
can't
just
believe
woke up because we're here, of course, on the West Coast, so we're 2 hours behind you.
a 5 a.m. podcast and he's up walking around.
You want to go see the doggy? Okay,
Look
go see
at
the
that
doggy.
future.
Oh, oh, he's not having that. Oh,
I know. I think I know who runs the show over there.
oh yeah.
Good for you. Good for you, little man. That's your job for a while. You get to be center of attention.
Exactly. Yeah, and one of the things also that I've found since a lot of people that I know that have kids and are like, oh, I don't have time to go to the gym. You might go see Mama. You've got a built-in
Hi,
weight.
Mama.
Um,
Oh, yeah.
exactly. It's like just carry your child. Do some curls with him.
How much does he weigh, do you think? He's 16
He's
months old,
about
18 months?
20-ish pounds, a little bit more than 20 pounds right now.
Yeah,
So,
I remember. I remember my right arm getting stronger than my left arm because holding them on that hip.
oh
And
yeah,
had I just thought about more, just they love to be picked up and put in the air. They love to
exactly,
be the little airplane thing. If I'd have done that every day, how many times, you know? But
exactly.
those first 3 years, really, it was 7 years because, like I said, my older kids were older. Um, it's tough. It's tough because you have blinders on to, I mean, my metabolism had absolutely changed. There was no question. The first two kiddos, the weight dropped back off somewhat. I was never a thin person, but after the third one, this was my new reality. And I like run a little bit and try to cut my calories back. Nothing was really working. So, but I wasn't thinking about I have a built-in gym here with these three kiddos, or we could all do some self-educating on healthier foods. It just wasn't in my. I just wasn't thinking about it, and you get discouraged so easily. I didn't have a community of people like we have now. I
Oh
had a
yeah,
lot of that's key, right?
oh yeah. It's I've always had a community through the martial arts that has always kept me motivated to stay somewhat in shape because I've had fitness tests for rank testings and stuff like that I've got to take, and I still am training, so taking classes, and my instructor yelling at me for not being in the shape that he thinks I should be and everything. And so it's that motivation from other people that really helps. So being in some sort of a community, whether it's the Fitbit community, the MyFitnessPal, just listening to the podcast, everything, just yeah.
Yeah, right. Okay, so you hit on something there with it doesn't have to be our community, obviously. You don't have to go out and spend $100 on a Fitbit. There are so many. I talk about Spark People a lot, even though Spark People, we're not as big of a community there. That was one of the things early on that really helped me because it's a free web page you can put together and blog and meet for specific interests. There's groups there, like in your area mud runners or in your area knitters or something. I mean, you can get together with like-minded people. So if you don't have those people in your real world, having them online, and you've always had at least connected to the fitness world. So I know I keep saying that, but I think that's huge and a game changer for a lot of people. This
Definitely.
this is my son, Tony Salva. Say hello, Tony.
Hello.
Hey Tony, how you doing?
He said, "Hey Tony, how
Oh,
you doing?"
that's true. He doesn't have the headset on.
Oh, but my headphones are up really loud. He can hear it. And this is Nick. Nick obviously just woke up. Hey, nice hair, Nick. We're 2 hours ahead of you, but we're still just waking up over here.
Hey, it's summer for you now, so.
I know. Angelica, do you want to say hi? Why not? Let's just bring in the whole family. There you go. Hi, there's Angelica. Say hello.
She looks like she just woke up too.
Oh, we all woke up. Okay, we all just woke up. Okay, so I think we're gonna wrap up. Will you guys go get yourselves some breakfast?
No.
Thank you. I'll put links to your Instagram, Tony, in the show notes. I'm going to wrap up the show. I have to read the end of it.
Oh, wait, is this the show?
This is the show. We're recording the show.
Right now?
Right now. This is live on the internet, yes.
Oh, gosh, they're going to see that?
Yes, people just saw all of that. Not gonna see it.
Bye.
I think I've got some editing to do. Bye, guys. Anyway,
But honestly,
yeah.
the other shows where you've had your kids come on, it reaffirms that you're a normal person. You're not this person that just lives only for the fitness. That you've got a family, and you're still able to make it work. So
Oh, thank you for saying that. I'm so proud of my kids. They're amazing. They're they at some points I feel like they're sacrificing so that I can like go to Nashville and do a run, which is only once or twice a year, but still there's an hour each week or so that I spend on this, a little bit more. And this is Tony's room, I kind of got to kick him out of his room, so because this is where our Ethernet connection is. But the conversations we have, even though they are very much, Mom, salad again, and they don't eat it. They eat we make deals and they'll eat 5 leaves, and if it's 5 leaves, that's all I have to eat, right? I mean, it's like it's not easy, but I love the conversations that we have where they really seem to know more than they used to know, and every once in a while they'll make some decisions on their own that are a little healthier, and they'll be like, see what I'm doing, Mom? Gonna get credit for this. And so I think it is. I appreciate you saying that I can keep it all together. They'll be the first ones to tell you that I don't have all the balls perfectly in the air, but I'm grateful that that they're a supportive family and that you guys are a supportive family. Yeah.
And once again, you may drop a ball here and there, but it's at the end of the day, are you in that win column for what you feel?
I love that. It's the tally of all of it together. We're not looking at today and how you fell off the wagon today for lunch, or you had a piece of birthday cake for lunch, and so forget the whole thing. I had a gal tell me the other day that she had another piece of her daughter's graduation cake that was at her house, and she was like, I just can't believe I did that. And I was like, I could justify that in a couple of ways. First of all, you've been so good for so long, and you might plateau if you don't have some type of insulin spike somewhere. Secondly, you don't want to build an like some kind of bizarre resistance, intolerance to some of these things, wheat and gluten, that are in our real world when there are birthdays and stuff. You don't want to have a piece. Yeah, have a piece of birthday cake every once in a while so that your system doesn't do that. I don't know if that's true, but I've heard Kiefer say that we're starting to build intolerances to wheat and gluten and things that are not.
I've heard that as well. That's why a lot of people are having these gluten allergies pop up, because they just completely cut it out of their diet, and so their bodies adjusted, and now they can't handle it.
Yeah. And so you don't want that either. Or just that you need a feel good. My daughter graduated, for goodness sakes, I mean, I know she had a piece of cake when they had the graduation, or maybe she didn't. I don't know how severe we're taking it, because that's the first thing I pass on is the cake and all that frosting. No. But if I did have one, it's special occasion.
Yeah. You can't have one for your daughter's graduation. When can you?
Right. So I was really proud of her, because she's lost weight since the beginning of the year. She's lost 21 pounds, and she's, like we were saying, it's the tally of everything you've done. I love that. I've just never really thought about it that way. Don't look at it today. Look at as much as you can do today, but let's look at the tally of everything we've done since we started this journey.
Yeah, it goes back with the stepping on a scale. People that step on a scale every day don't do as well as those that don't step on a scale every day, because they get demoralized. They step on the scale and go, oh, I didn't lose any weight. Well, it could be you drank a couple extra glasses of water. You stepped on a scale at a different time of the day. So
I know. That is so hard. For years, I stepped on the scale every day, and it was demoralizing, and it would determine if I was going to have a good day or a bad day. I mean, 1 pound either way.
Yeah.
And it was, but I couldn't get away from it, because I felt like it was the best thing for my journey. I needed to know if I was going in the wrong direction before it got out of hand. I never would have imagined that, like, my clothes and how they fit and just your reflection. I may even be skewed, because I feel so good right now that I may be chunkier than I think I am. Who cares? I feel good.
It's how you feel. It's once again, it's Fat2Fit, at least for right now, is not just the physical. It's the how you feel. It's all aspects of your life. So
Absolutely. Well, Stephen, I can't thank you enough for coming on. This has been so inspiring. I'm gonna read a little. You know what? I'm gonna leave the Tough Mudder links for a little bit in there for people who are interested in doing that. But I wanna read a little bit of just one guy wrote me the other day. In one of our last shows, I told people that I was thinking about changing the name of the show. And so
yeah,
people have been sending me names for the show for us to consider. And this guy sent me a couple. Oh, man, his name's Kip, and I just lost his name. Hang on just a second. I know he lives in Nacogdoches. And now I really am going to have to edit. Hang on just a second. Let's see. Kip. Ah. I wrote him back. We wrote Kip Foley. How could I forget Kip Foley? We wrote back and forth for a while. So, Kip, thank you for your suggestions. Kip says, flirting with fitness or chasing fitness. Those two both sound pretty cool. We might put some out there for a vote, or we might not change the name. What do you think?
I see the negatives in the word fat,
Uh-huh.
but at the same time, sometimes it's a wake-up call for some
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
So, but
Yeah.
I see both ways.
I know. People in Nashville, when we were sitting around at dinner, they were like, do not change the name. I mean, when I feel fat, I feel fat. That's not, but I want to get fit. So,
Exactly.
yeah, it's not a great, and you've got fat burning this and fat burn masterclass and stuff like that. I mean, it's no question. All of us have a certain amount of fat on us, and we might at one point, feel like we want to get to another place. I don't know, we're gonna. I'm just waiting to see. A lot of people don't want me to change the name,
Yeah.
but Kip also writes. I also want to just tell you how inspiring each week's podcast is. Keep up the great work. So I did want to. I did want to thank Kip for writing in that and for the kind words. That was really nice. And I think Lisa Jarman came up with Fitness Chronicles. I don't know. We have to think about it. So if y'all have any other ideas, feel free to send them to me. We're just throwing out some ideas. I do want to ask folks, I want to charge folks. I mean, if you liked this episode, if you enjoyed this episode, you may know that I don't have any time to get out there and market this. So one way that you could really help us is to go like our Facebook page. That link is in the show notes, but we're at facebook.com/fat2fithq. And I'm going to do a drawing on July 4th because we printed up some Fat2Fit shirts, and I have a couple that I'm going to send based on folks who share our website or invite your friends to join our website or to like our Facebook page. So if you share any of the episodes or any of the posts on Facebook, I'm going to start collecting that from now, which is today is June 12th, up to July 4th. And I'm going to start taking a record. So if you go in there and actually go to the trouble to invite people to like our page, send me an email, let me know you did that, and I'll look at the likes and we'll be able to kind of trace that back. But please go and like our Facebook page, share our Facebook page so that we can just get more people in the community. And definitely there's links on how to get connected with us through MyFitnessPal and through the Fat2Fit Fitbitter group. I guess for the Facebook thing, I'll have to do it just with shares if you've shared it, because I have a record of that. But I do really want to ask folks if you would please invite people to like our Facebook page. That's a big helpful thing to us. Also, our iTunes reviews. If you're on iTunes, that really helps the show. So that's one way you can get involved and really help our show grow. Stephen, what am I forgetting? We've talked about so much. I can't think that we've forgotten anything, but maybe
I don't think we have. But I'd like to just say thank you, and also, get out there, share it, because it's the community. It's having those people that you're not necessarily accountable to, but are there that will be supportive in your journey. And if you don't share it, if you try to hide it with yourself, there's no one there to cheer you on and basically be that support for you.
Right?
Share. Tell people that you're working on fitness. See if you can get them to join. Just share the fact that you listen to Fat2Fit. Just share that with everybody, because that'll be like, you listen to Fat2Fit. What is that? And
right?
Then they'll be like, they'll listen. Hopefully they'll get hooked like I did, and then hopefully someone will beat me in steps or beat me in sharing it, because now
Yeah,
you've made a competition out of that.
right, there you go. We need a share competition. We do. We want to be agents for change. So I love that message. Let's be ambassadors for this site. And really, you're being an ambassador for fitness because, like we were saying earlier, if you start talking about your diet and talking about your fitness, people really get turned off by that sometimes. But just sharing something that you heard that inspired you on your Facebook page or Twitter or Instagram or however you're following, or your MyFitnessPal account, anything, that kind of thing is very inviting. That is not, in your face, look what you're doing wrong, I'm doing this right. It's not that kind of thing.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, absolutely. Well, unfortunately, Stephen, you're not allowed to be in any future Fitbit competitions with us
Yes.
because no, I'm just kidding. I mean, we're gonna have you in your own separate stratosphere kind of guy.
Oh, but it's crazy. I was looking at some of the other fitness, like the Fitbit accounts and some of the other groups, and they're even make me look like I'm not taking any steps.
Oh
You
my
got to be
God.
like patting the books or something.
Oh my gosh, you never know. You never know. That's crazy. But it's all in good fun as long as you're doing it in a healthy way and not getting kind of psychotic about it. It's a way to make your fitness fun. And it
Definitely.
has been. But my Fitness Pal too, we have a huge community there now that most of them or many of them do not have a Fitbit. That group is super supportive. They post all the time. You can log your food for whatever reasons, but the community there is fantastic. And I just appreciate you being part of it all, Stephen.
I was happy to be part of it. It really motivated me to get out there and walk some more and try to get those steps in.
Yeah, you were fun to chase. Okay, so that's it for this week, guys. And don't forget to go leave us an iTunes review or a Facebook like. And we just stay healthy. Go have fun with your baby, Steven.
Will
And
do.
we'll be talking to everybody soon.
Sounds great.
Okay, thanks again. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.